Hello again, everyone. Welcome back. Well, today we're back with Aganorsa Leaf, but they're making this for another company, HVC, Havana City Cigars. And here it is. This is the HVC First Selection Limited Edition Broadleaf. And this is the Toro 6x52. There's your density. The cigar as it sits here has a very nice weight in the hand. Now this, when Aganorsa Leaf was going through its progression of trying different Maduro wrappers, this is the first time they had used a broadleaf wrapper. This is a Connecticut broadleaf wrapper. Everything else is Nicaraguan. The cigar actually comes in two sizes. You have a short Robusto, 4.5 by 50, and as you saw on the lead-in, when you buy a box of these, it's a 20-count box. You get 10 of each size cigar. Interesting. So that's sort of the long and the short of it. That's basically what I wanted to tell you on the lead-in. So let's get right to it. The relatively new came out in late 2018, so we're about a year or so in. The HVC First Selection Limited Edition Broadleaf Toro. This means nothing, but those bands are really close to the cap there. If possible, I might have to move them down. It's only because I don't want to get them wet from my, slobber. Okay. Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, this is very different from yesterday's Aganorsa Leaf cigar. They made these, remember? This is a very sweet, dark chocolate. A lot of, it's a cedar with just a little bit of a citrus influence. A lot of nutmeg, brown sugar, a lot. I'm tempted to call it espresso. It's a very full-bodied dark roast coffee. Black pepper at about 7 to 7.5. It's a very sweet start, but it's very dark. There is a ton of espresso. I'm going to call it espresso. It is so deep. I'm going to call it espresso. So that's how you start. Nice start, actually. Just very dark, but very sweet. Well, here we are at the first third. Let's show the band. There we are. And as you can see, this burn is very good. Now, to expand on the flavor, they're just like I described how we started. It is a cedar with citrus influence, no doubt about it. There is a dark chocolate, sweet dark chocolate, as we already said. It ain't a lot of it. Brown sugar. I'm going to say there's also, because there's something bridging over to this nutmeg, which I'm about to get to, there are caramel notes. There is a smooth sweetness, and it's very sweet. And then you get to the nutmeg, which I describe nutmeg in its various forms, dry, whatever. This is a very oily vegetable type nutmeg, reminiscent of the Aganorsa Leaf cigars of actually a couple years ago. year and a half, 2 years ago. I distinctively remember that flavor in their cigars. So it is something that they have, but it's very oily, vegetable type. It's a vegetable, very much a vegetable flavor. And then you have all that dark roasted coffee or espresso. Flip a coin. I'm going with espresso. Some of you may think, it's just dark roasted coffee. But there's a lot of medium to full body, probably because of all the dark notes. It tastes full body, but I would say the cigar is medium to full body. The finish has some sweetness on it. Taste it. I believe it's coming from that caramel. There is some chocolate there. There is some nutmeg there, and an average amount of lingering black pepper. This is a very sweet, dark cigar, okay? It's very sweet, but very dark. The dark chocolate, the espresso, a lot of dark notes, but it's very tasty. It actually is very good. As a switch for some of you people, and I've got yesterday's review, had a lot of people that like HVC cigars. To go with something dark, with sweetness, this may be something to think about. I would rate the first third 94. It's just appealing. It's so dark. It's so sweet. Now and even the vegetable oily nutmeg doesn't. It adds to the uniqueness. So we're moving on. Let's see what we have at the end of the second third. End of the second third. And again, I say it's burning pretty good. Now, there's not a whole lot to report. It's still very dark noted with everything it had before. The nutmeg doesn't taste quite as oily and vegetably, but it's still quite a bit of it there. Still call it medium to full bodied. The finish is unchanged. There's not a lot changed. It's very consistent. I mean, you really don't get flavor note changes, at least not to this point. It's going to have to do it in a hurry. The band, as you can see, I removed the lower band that said Broadleaf, and I was able to, as the cigar warmed up, to move this band down a little bit. Means nothing, but I like to have a little room. But I'm not changing the score. It's still 94. Now, if the nutmeg increases or takes away the sweetness, I'll change the score. But right now, with nothing changing, how can I change the score? It's a good cigar. Very dark, very sweet. So let's see what the final third has. Well, we are down to the end. So let's wrap it up. Consistency. This is a consistent cigar. However you like it at the first, don't expect anything to change. It's going to be that way all the way to the end. It's just, I can critically tell you little things that have changed, and I will, but it's not enough to make any difference. It is how it starts, it's how it's going to go. Here in the end, the vegetable, like in the last segment, the vegetable nutmeg didn't taste quite as oily and so awfully pronounced. Didn't hurt it. Also, the espresso or deep dark roast black coffee, whatever you want to call it, was not as pronounced. Neither one of those things hurt the cigar at all. It didn't really affect the score at all. The dark chocolate. What you're going to notice is the sweet dark chocolate. The score will hold at 94. I describe a lot of dark noted cigars as dessert type cigars because you may have a meal that this particular cigar would go with it. In this case, if you had a very bland meal and didn't have anything much to get excited about and wanted a dessert and didn't get one, have this cigar. Very sweet, very dark. It's almost like a cup of very sweet coffee, but it's dark chocolate and espresso combined. It's just very sweet. If you like sweet, you like dark, this is it. The overall score is 94. How could it didn't change. It was extremely consistent. I would also just say it's medium to full bodied, but it's very close to full bodied, but it's medium to full bodied. And the finish is nothing's changed. This is one of the most consistent cigars I've ever had. Not a bad thing. So that will do it. The HVC First Selection Limited Edition Broadleaf Toro, 94.